Hey, welcome. It's another episode of Tipsy Tuesday Mastermind, and I'm here today with co-host Samantha Wall from Colorado, and Clive Jeffery is our guest today from St. Augustine, Florida. Annie's she's from Auckland, New Zealand, so it should be a good day today. Can't wait to hear your story, Clive.
Thank you so much for having me on, guys. It's a pleasure to be here.
Awesome. So what got you started in the space, Clive? What made you see the circles, I guess you could say?
Yeah, it's quite a long story. So I'll just sort of give you a bit of brief background. I've obviously from New Zealand, as you mentioned. I've been living in Florida now just over 2 years. I met my wife over here back in 1984 when I was backpacking around the world, and I've taken her back to New Zealand as a souvenir. And then we used to come back quite regularly to visit her folks. And a couple of years ago, our kids said that they wanted to finish up school over here. And over there, I had started a printing and graphic design business back in 1990, and I was just sick and tired of doing that. So we thought, well, what the hell, you only live once, so we sold up everything and moved over here, and then I was sort of looking for something to do. And one of the realtors that we were dealing with happened to show me an opportunity, and it sort of sounded pretty cool, so I jumped on in. And then, like anyone, I didn't know anyone over here, so I had to figure out a way to try and market it, and that's when I stumbled across MLSP, and sort of started working and branding myself online since then. So it's been probably a couple of years now.
Awesome. And you're doing this full time now? You're full time?
Yeah.
That's great to hear. That's a lot of inspiration for a lot of people that we have on here. Because we do a lot of people who do watch the Tipsy Tuesdays. They get the recordings because they can't be here right now. And
sure, yeah.
It's just a good thing to have somebody who's actually doing it, full time as well, and seeing their stories on how they made that possible. So. Yeah. Awesome. Can't wait to get into it.
Cool. So yeah, that's a little bit of background on how I actually found my way to this niche, if you like.
So awesome. Now, Clive, how long were you in the industry before you found My Lead System Pro?
Probably only a couple of months, 1 or 2 months. Because as I say, I literally had just moved here, didn't know anyone. Because my wife's family is up in Maryland, but I don't want to go there, it's too cold, so we sort of, I knew I'd been to Florida before. I really thought Florida was cool, so we sort of looked on the internet, and St. Augustine looked pretty awesome, so we chose that, and we came over, and then we just drove down from Maryland and checked it out, and it was as good as it looked on the internet, so yeah, we bought a house and moved down.
That's awesome. St. Augustine, that's my brother-in-law went to college there.
Oh, okay, Flagler College right in downtown.
Yeah, my sister and him are still down there. They're in St. Pete Beach.
Oh, okay, right. Cool. Yeah, because it's the oldest city in the States, so a lot of history, a lot of character. So yeah, no, we love it.
Nice.
Awesome.
So now, can you tell us a little bit of some struggles, for what kind of struggles you had and what really overcame, mindset-wise or anything like that?
Sure. One of the good things is that I really didn't know anything about it, so that was probably to my advantage. And also, being a baby boomer, I never did anything with computers. I was computer literate. I had employed graphic artists, I employed computer people, and we had a system that I had developed that we could enter like sizes of a print project, and it would produce it into a quote letter format, but that was the extent of my technical know-how, if you like, and so it's quite a big switch up to come over here and to try and start doing online marketing. I literally couldn't. I thought doing the video, I hadn't even used a smartphone. I had one of those old little touch-tone phones, so I got myself a smartphone, and I couldn't figure out how to use and get a video up on YouTube. So it's been a big learning curve over the last couple of years, but it just shows that you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Right.
So yeah, it was just a matter of persistence. It's like anything. If you're determined to do it, I'll find that I set my mind to something, and I realised too, because I mean I've always been in sales and marketing. That's what I did. My role, I never ran any printing presses or anything like that either. I just sold the stuff. So I've always been able to go out and quite happy to go out and talk to people and find out what their needs are and sort of find a solution. And it was obviously all around printing. But then I thought, well, this is a similar thing. But that was the other thing that I quickly learned too, that it was quite different, because I thought, being in sales, this is going to be a breeze, but it's not. It really is quite different, because I was used to dealing on a business-to-business basis where you'd be, talking to company directors or marketing people, and they had a print budget that they had there and they needed to spend it, so it's quite different to talking to someone in the home business. Normally they're very reluctant to get their wallet out and start, either they can't afford it, that's why they're looking at the home business opportunity, or they're skeptical. There seems to be this stigma around it that everyone's out there to rip you off. And I must admit, I've been caught a couple of times myself. So there are scrupulous people out there, but the majority of them are good, and you just got to believe that and do your homework. It's like anything. Do your due diligence and find the right people. And I think that's one thing that really attracted me to MLSP was the fact that it had been around for a long time, and in computer years it's been decades, pretty much like dog years, if you know what I mean.
Right.
So a good stable company, and the group itself, because I looked at a few things, and there was going to the fan pages of groups, and the posts would be months old, whereas the ones in the MLSP group were minutes old, and there have been a bunch of people replying to them. So that gave it all, just confirmed to me that this is a credible system. There's real people here, and they're getting real results. Now, I was never of the belief that I was going to find something that was going to be a magic silver bullet where I pressed the button and it was all just going to churn it out for me. I've tried those things and they didn't work, so I sort of quickly realized that this is just another platform for doing business. It's no different than doing any kind of brick and mortar business. You literally have to treat it seriously as a business. You've got to go out and find customers, and the customers you're going to get by providing a value to them, and obviously it's a value that something that they are looking for, because it's just like you can't sell a steak to a vegan, so you can't be putting your offer in front of people that are just not interested, which is no different to any other business at all. When I was doing printing, I used to deal with people like advertising agencies or marketing managers within a company and talk to them, because that's were the people that were interested in what I had. So it's one of the things that I think a lot of the mistakes people make in the home business industry, they just think, and I think it's a lot of it's the fault of the actual network marketing companies, because they tell you everyone is everyone needs our product, and they might very well need it, but they don't necessarily want it. Quite often they don't. So that's a subtle difference there. So as soon as you realise that, and be prepared to put in the effort. It takes to get over that skeptical mindset that your prospects are going to have. It's pretty much like I mentioned about the MLSP group. You are essentially going to be viewed in the same light. People are going to look at you and see if your walk matches your talk. Are you being consistent? Have you been? Even if you're a beginner, you've got to start out with that in mind, that people are going to look at your track record. They're going to watch you for a while before they're going to believe that you're worth following. So it's important to not only realize that right from the outset. The sooner you realize it, the better, and start being consistent. And you're gonna the faster you're gonna get the results. Now I look back on it now and I think, well, gee, if only I had been more consistent at the beginning. I thought I was being, but it's a different kind of consistency to what I was used to. It's just being visible, that was probably one of the biggest hurdles that. Getting back to your question, sorry Samantha, I know I've also rambled on there, but getting back to your question, one of the hurdles that I overcame was that being visible, online, because that was the biggest thing. Was like, geez, I don't want to be out there. I mean, this social media rubbish, I don't want to have anything to do with that.
Right.
Being an old fart, so it took a bit of getting around that mindset of not wanting to be out there, and then. Just not caring, and the good thing that I can't remember who told me at the beginning, because I was so concerned, like doing my first video, like all these people are going to see me mess up, and it's like, hey, no one's going to be watching your videos anyway, so don't worry about it. So it's until you actually realize, you start getting a bit of a following, and then by then you've got some skills, and you can look back and laugh at your earlier videos. But yeah, that was a really subtle mind shift that it got me going. I was like, yeah, no one's going to see it anyway. So I thought, oh yeah, what the hell? I'll just go and put them out there, and eventually that someone might find them, stumble across them by accident.
How would you say that MLSP has helped your primary? From yeah, you know what I mean.
Good. Yeah, I do know exactly what you mean, and that's, I think, a lot of people in the network marketing industry. When you first talk to them, they see it as a conflict. They see, and a lot of I've seen a couple of posts in the last week or so where people have been having issues with upline leaders, and that's sort of saying and frowning upon MLSP. But the biggest thing that I found is the education you get, that is not particularly the skills to do the actual marketing itself, but it's just the skills and the awareness of how marketing should be done and how you should handle yourself online. Because we're all using social media now, whether we like it or not, and if you're doing it the wrong way, you can be repelling people as opposed to attracting people, and without even knowing it. You think you're working hard, plastering your company links and company branding all over the place, but it's working against you. And unless you know that, you quite innocently are working hard. And a lot of people too, they get once you start doing it a while, you're going to get lots of friend requests and spam by other network marketers sending through their links. And I like that, because a lot of people they get annoyed and they make posts about it and stuff like that. But to me, it's someone's taking action and they just don't know any better. So to me, they're a prime prospect. And if you approach them the right way, I always thank them for sending through their friend request and their message, and say, look, I admire your tenacity and the way you're really serious about marketing your business. Just say, look, I've actually found a way that works a lot better than doing what you've just done to me. Are you interested in having a chat about it? And normally they go, oh yes, please, this isn't working, I'm struggling, blah blah blah. And that's a good way to come back at people like that. But that was probably the biggest thing, is because you all you hear these terms bandied around, like you've got to be a leader and you've got to be someone that someone's going to look up to, and I think that's what MLSP does. It says it's the breeding ground of leaders, but it's more so than just learning, as I say, the technical skills. It's that how to hold yourself and position yourself as someone worth following. That, I think it was Ray Higdon's line the other day. It's like, how do you get more followers? It's like, be someone worth following. It's a simple answer. And how do you do that? You do that by bettering yourself, by educating yourself, and then being able to offer solutions to people. And it's and it can be. People get. I think when we first get involved with MLSP, there's so much information there, and it can be quite daunting. And to get going, there's been a couple of trainings of late. I think Aaron Parker did one and Diane Hochman did one, using the tools that are already done for you. Mm-hmm. And that's definitely the way to go, rather than getting in there and thinking that you've got to build your own self-branded funnel straight away. And I think that's been a good transition for new people now, which wasn't there when I first got there. I was didn't worry about doing. I wanted to get right in and brand myself right from the get-go, which is probably not the smartest thing to do. When Mark Laurent got right up to L3, nearly L4, without ever producing one piece of content.
Right.
So it can certainly be done. And then once you do that, you're getting a following. You've got some money coming in. Then you can look at things like getting getting into some paid advertising or the like. Although I've done a little bit, but I don't do much paid advertising at all. I might boost it, I'd post, but it's more just getting out there and actually meeting people and building relationships at the end of the day, because all that other stuff is just a way to maximize your ability to meet new people at the end of the day. It's all bringing in leads is just the ability to have new people to talk to. So you can do that manually just as well. And it's not, like Bert Bledsoe and Diane Hochman, they have a great strategy of meeting at least 10 people a day, and within the niche. And it sounds like, how's that going to work? But you'll be surprised if you do that consistently. You're gonna notice, the friend requests are going to start coming in. People are going to say, hey, what do you actually do? Get these now I'm getting these messages like, I've been following you for a while, but what do you actually do? And and because we're branding the right way, you've got the curiosity factor there, rather than in your face, here's my company, and then people can just Google it and find all the horror stories that people have posted about it, and they run for the hills. So it's definitely better to do it that way.
Awesome.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, that whole, I talk to people all the time, and just like you said, like so many people when they first get into, when you first introduce My Lead System Pro, they are like, well, I'm focusing in on my business. I'm scared to do both of these things at the same time, just like you said, and it's all about that curiosity and building that with, the people around. I mean, I was just on the phone right before we got on, and she was like, what attracted me to you was your 22 push-up challenge.
Right.
So I mean, it's like, that's not even part of my marketing. That's just a challenge I got involved in. But that's the building of curiosity of like, how is she able to stay at home and do a 22 push-up challenge?
Right.
Exactly, and it's that visibility, just being seen, and that's what it's all about, as you say. It's awesome.
Yeah, and
but you wouldn't
like
have known
said,
that. That's the thing. To a non-educated, and I mean by the term into the attraction marketing side of things, that they can't see how that would work. But even though they've been drawn to you, they didn't realize that was happening. They could, they missed that little. It's so subtle. They don't even realize that they've been like lured to the flame, like the moth to the flame.
Yep.
Absolutely. So, what would you say your biggest thing of why you like entrepreneurship? I mean, why do you really enjoy it?
I guess it's they say it's either in your DNA or it's not. I don't know whether that's true, but I mean I've basically always wanted to work for myself as long as I can remember. I haven't had a job since 1990. I started, before that I was, in sales and was always wanted. I'd only work if it was commission only. I didn't want to have anyone controlling me and whatever I did, dictating what I can and couldn't do, basically. So that's probably the biggest driver for me. I don't take. I mean, I'm a great team player. I like working with people, but I don't like anyone being able to say I've got to do this now. It'll be. So that's my biggest driving force. I never want to be in a position where I have to be told what to do or get up at a certain time and fit in with someone else's schedule.
Awesome.
Yeah, having that control over you is just insane.
Being owned, yeah. No, I just couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
I was in the corporate world. I was a superintendent on a golf course for like 18 plus years, and
right.
The boss, and I was the dictator, and going from that to being able to, go from that type of thing to what I'm doing now is completely black and white. And it's changed me as a person completely, and how I look at everything, and just how I present myself on an everyday basis. That's my biggest takeaway.
Yeah, I mean, it's very much the same with me, because with the printing, even though it was my business, the nature of it being, they mentioned the corporate world, I was dealing with advertising agencies, and they would they'd come up with a creative strategy for a campaign, and we would look after the print component of it, and they had to get it all into store by the time the TV and radio advertising started, all that type of thing. So everything was working to a tight schedule, and it was always under deadlines and lots of pressure, and then you also you've got the pressure of people. I've found they would change so often within an organisation, and so I'd build a relationship with that marketing manager, and after a couple of years they would move on in their career, and the new person would come in, and that person would try and want to put their stamp on the position that they were in. So it was re-establishing a relationship with them, and they would, it was just, it seemed to be an ongoing cycle, and they could at a whim get another supplier for their printing, and which is obviously their prerogative to do, but I just got sick of that being, which is almost like having a job, where you're basically kissing butt the whole time trying to look after these people, and just got, after a while, it was just, I needed to change, basically. So I'd been, prior to starting my own business, I had worked in the printing industry for about 7 years. It was about 30 years that I'd been doing it all up, So it was definitely time for me to move on. And yeah, so I sold the business back in 2013, just before I moved over here and looked for something new.
What would you say the most, the one thing that you did that made you where you are in an L2 leader in MLSP right now? What made you go from L1 to L2?
I think it's just consistency. That's a word that you hear so often that people tend to sort of forget how important that it is. And it's as simple as that. Just the number, just about everyone that has joined up has said, "I've been watching you for ages," you know, and without fail they say that. So it just proves, and saying that, people think that it's difficult to be consistent. But like Diane Hockman says, if you just do what you know how to do, and if that means to write a Facebook update, then do that, and then you go on to adding an image to it, just little things like that. That's putting out content. That's making yourself visible. People don't realize, they think content doesn't have to be a webinar. It doesn't have to be a full-on blog post or a video. It's just getting your name and your message out there and doing it consistently. And then, so if you say, and everyone seems to have a Facebook page, so if you start with Facebook and just, as I say, put up even if it's just a motivation, go and Google motivational quotes and find one that resonates with you, with how you're feeling that day, and then put that as part of your statement. Just say why it appealed to you that day, and then after a while you can add a bit more and start using branded. Put that quote, instead of just typing it, make it go to Canva, which is canva.com, a free graphics tool, and you can make that into a meme and put your picture on it and start branding yourself. So if it does get shared, you're getting your face and your message put out there more and more. And then just keep doing that consistently, and then build on it. And then you think, well, now I've got these a little folder of images. Now I can maybe put them out on Instagram or Twitter, and just keep building on it from that. And so it's just consistently take those baby steps. It's and that's what the hardest thing I think that people have got to get in their minds is that none of this stuff works instantly. And we're so used to instant gratification. I go to work, I get my pay at the end of the day, whereas this is completely not like that. And you think, well, all this effort, am I ever going to see a return? And that's when people get disheartened, because it's easy to keep going if you're getting the constant reward. But if you don't get the reward, you've got to have that belief and go out there in faith, and that it is going to happen if you're consistent. And once you start getting a taste of that it is working, that you've just got to keep doing it and adding fuel to the fire, and you start realizing, well, they were right. It is just a matter of being consistent. And that's the only thing I can say to people. Just have faith that it's going to work, because it does. Those people around you that you see, in the leaderboards and everything else, the only thing different between them and you is the fact that they've done the work consistently. And that's all it is. It's simple as that. And your skills will grow daily. And again, it's funny, you look back, and we all think, we're always looking forward, which is a good thing. You've got to keep looking forward, but it doesn't hurt you to look back and see how far you've come. Don't look back with regret, but look back and pat yourself on the back and say, well, as I say, a couple of years ago, I couldn't even upload a video from my phone.
Right.
And now I'm approaching 300 videos on my YouTube channel, just things like that. So you've got to keep reminding yourself that you are making progress, and it is going to happen if you keep going. Just stick with it. Don't quit. That's it. The only way you're going to fail is if you quit.
Awesome. I don't have anything else, Samantha. It's like we got about 3 minutes left.
Now, so are your main focus of marketing is video? Is that where you started?
Yes. Yes, I've got I do video and video blog posts. So and so that was the three. And I also do Twitter. So which I've only been, this year I started doing Twitter and videos. I started YouTube, but when I first got started, I was just doing videos what was on my mind. Like if I was reading a book, I'd talk about what on the book, and then which is good, gives you practice. But then as I got into it, then I realized, oh well, these aren't going to get found, which is goes back to the point of no one watching them. But then you start looking at keyword research and actually producing videos around what people are actually looking for. So again, you're just building layer by layer on your skill level. So now, then I started realizing, okay, to get my videos seen, I've got to actually get them to rank. So then I, learned how to do keyword research and produce the videos around that. But the whole time I was also working on Facebook. I had my fan page, and everything's along the same lines. I started doing my little graphic memes on Facebook and putting them out, and then as I got into that, I started doing them more consistently, and then I started putting those out on Twitter as well. And I've got an Instagram account, but I haven't done anything on there yet. But I was just, as I was talking earlier, I've actually got a good folder now of images, so it makes sense that I actually look into that too. But I'm also conscious of spreading myself too thin because of my, for me, I still don't like working on a smartphone. It's just too small. I don't know. It's just not. I'm just not comfortable. So I like working on on a laptop or a computer. So I sort of stick to those kind of things. But it is something that I will look into. But I think a lot of the time people think that they've got to be everywhere and they try and do everything at once, and it's like that shotgun effect. Whereas if you think of focusing in this like the sun with a magnifying glass, and you can get it really laser focused in, and you can light a fire. But if you use a broad spectrum, it's going to cause nothing at all. It might warm up a little bit, but it's not going to get you anywhere. So pick one thing, and really, become consistent with that. And when you're comfortable with that, then look for something to move on to. I think that's probably another big tip that I wish I had known. It says it clearly when you get into your back office. But it's like it seems to go over all of our heads. We all think, oh yeah.
It went over mine for about 2 years.
Oh yeah. I pretty much dabbled everywhere. Like, well, I could try over here. And I think, everybody has their process, and everybody's got to do their thing in order to get to where they're supposed to be. Every moment of everybody's life got you to exactly where you're at today, sitting where we're at.
Yeah.
So I have 2 questions for you. One,
sure.
Is that your bird?
Yes, she's actually back in New Zealand though, with a friend. So, but the ones like on, I don't know if you've seen my cover on my profile. There's a bunch of them all over me. They're actually belong to a parrot rescue where I volunteer when I can. But the one on my shoulder was mine. Yeah.
Very cool. And then, since you are like the YouTube, video marketer, can you give our people some suggestions as far as videos? Because I know that, so many people struggle with the actual getting in front of the camera. And just like you said, for me, I was the same way as you. I'm was a very private person, and social media was very scary for me to get out there and, actually open myself up to the world. So, if you could give a couple suggestions on that and how you,
Absolutely. Yeah, I think the big thing to remember is that you can do your video and have them in your mind that if you don't like it, you don't have to post it. So you can just go out there and do it, and just you've seen that, you've probably all seen that meme that goes around, sing like nobody's watching, and just have that mindset. Put it in, no one's going to see this video. I'm just going to talk as if and always imagine talking to one person, because that's the power of the video. When people watch it one-on-one, so don't talk like you're presenting to a crowd. Talk as if I want to talk to you. This message is for you. So when you look at the camera and speak to that person as if that's only one person. And that again, just that alone makes it a whole lot easier, because you're not thinking, wow, I'm talking to this crowd, because that is one of the fears of people is public speaking. So you're not public speaking. You're speaking to one person, and that's the person watching this video right now. So, and you when you're talking and addressing your video, make it very clear that that's what you're doing. You don't want to say hi everyone or hi guys. You're talking to one person, so you just say, hey, I'm glad you're here. There's a pretty simple 4-step formula that you want to do. Basically, you want to introduce yourself. I normally say, hi, this is Clive Jeffery from clivejeffery.com, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about. So have a topic. I like to jot this down. So there's the 4 steps you want to go. You've got to have an introduction, and then pose a question, then your content part of the video is you answering that question, and then the fourth part is a call to action. So that's an introduction, the question, the answer to the question, and then a call to action. So it's a very simple four-step formula. So if you have that clear in your mind before you actually start recording, you're not gonna feel like you're in this open-ended thing where you're going to find yourself rambling and know what to talk about. So figure it out in your mind. So if I might say, okay, this is Clive Jeffery, and in today's video we're going to look at video marketing. That's foreseeing we're doing that, and I gave you the four-step formula. So stay tuned, and then I'd go through and itemize those 4 steps, and then I would say something. If you would like to delve deeper, I'm going to have a link in the description below this video that you can click, and I'm going to give you a free training where my mentor Mark Harbert is going to share with you exactly how to take your video marketing to the next level, because there's a system campaign on video marketing. So that's your call to action. So a good way to start would be to go through, for MLSP people, is to go through and look at all those system campaigns and then do a video just like I've described. You have your introduction, your call to action, in your introduction, the question what that training is going to go on about. So watch the training yourself so you can add a bit of flavor to it and answer a few things yourself, and then have the call to action and direct them to that link and for more value, you know what I mean? So you can either do that going to your blog, send them to your blog where they can get it if you put it up there, or to just a link in your description. And that is a great way. And then you can use that little teaser video on Facebook as well, because you can upload it in Facebook and say there's a link there that you can go to get more training as well. And the video doesn't have to be long. I'm sure, in fact, the shorter you can make them, the better. People think that they've got to go on and really talk in depth. People don't. You'll find that if your video is longer than 3 minutes, the chances are, if people stay, they're going to drop off, because they don't. We all know we scan through, and a lot of time people see the length of the video, they won't even start it if it's like 9 minutes or 10 minutes. They think, I don't have time for that. But if you've got a short, quick message where you can just blurt out the thing so clearly and succinctly, you'll find that you get some good follow through and click throughs.
I love that. I love that one-on-one. I've never heard of that.
I definitely got some nuggets out of that. Thanks.
Yeah.
Cool.
It was amazing. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Does anybody have any questions while we still have him? So now you do bird rescue, parrot rescue? I don't. I actually just volunteer. When it's not my rescue, but I volunteer when I can. I've been. My grandmother used to keep parrots, so I sort of got the bug right from the get-go. I've never not been without birds until I actually came over here. I've done different training. I used to train them as a hobby, but I've also done TV commercials where I've trained them for outdoor free flight, things like that. And, just a little hobby. I love it.
Awesome. I don't see any questions. No questions today. Anybody? Going once.
How do I introduce myself in the video?
Beg your pardon?
Suzette's asking, how do I introduce myself in a video?
Yeah, what I normally do, and this works successfully, and again, I've learned this from Mark Harbert, who's a video marketing expert. He basically says, just an introduction, say, hi, this is Clive Jeffery from clivejeffery.com. I normally just say my blog, and then I say, and I'm coming to you today from my home office in St. Augustine, Florida. That way, it just gives them a point of reference, especially with, I find with an accent it's important too, because people don't think that my message might not be relevant because they're in America, because that's my target market now, is America. So I say that I specifically message that I'm in Florida, and then I say what the video is going to be about. Tell them what the video is going to be about, and then then you can go through and answer the questions of what the video is about. But that's just a simple introduction. Who you are, where you're recording and coming from, basically.
Yep, definitely, for someone to relate. If you say Florida,
Yes.
then I think of my sister, and then all of a sudden you're in my
Exactly,
brain
you're
as
human.
that.
You're human. You're not just this this con man out on internet land.
Yep. And the home office thing, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Susan says thanks.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much for coming out.
No, thank you for inviting me, guys. It's been a real honor and privilege.
Absolutely, we got to have you out when you get the bird.
Yeah.
So we can eat it.
Yeah, there you go.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much.
No, thanks once again for having me, and I'd be happy to come back anytime you wanted me.
What's the best way people can get in touch with you?
My blog is clivejeffery.com, and pretty much every social media platform that I'm on is just Clive Jeffery. So if you Google Clive Jeffery, you'll find me. But clivejeffery.com, and Facebook is Clive Jeffery, Twitter's Clive Jeffery, YouTube, everything.
Awesome. All right. I guess that's a wrap today for today's Tipsy Tuesday. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.